Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing DMC4 on Dante Must Die difficulty. This is mission 12. It's entitled New Beginning. This is the first of our six mission campaign with Dante. So I'm going to be telling you some advanced techniques here, some advanced tactics, if you will. Tongue-in-cheek right there, but okay, do you see the pink bar in between? See how the pink bar is filling up? That is called the disaster gauge. And to have it that long, to have it that, over, like, well past the halfway point of the vitality bar, you have to upgrade your gunslinger style up all the way to level 4. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to do a skip because there's a 10-minute countdown in this chapter. There's no boss. But since I didn't even know how the disaster gauge worked in this game, I had to figure it out by trial and error. I'm going to tell you guys how this works. So the more times you hit with this particular gun, the Pandora, the more you'll build your disaster gauge up. You don't have to have the gunslinger mode on when you're trying to fill the disaster gauge on. But for this particular move, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called the revenge move or something like that, where he goes in this rocket launcher thing. And you could actually use this thing for one of the challenges where you have to float above the laser beams, and you can also use on the trial where you're not supposed to take any damage. You turn the camera off right on you, off the enemies, and you can just float in the air. Although it goes down pretty quickly, and if you perish, the disaster gauge will go back to 0, regardless of if it was filled up to begin with. So that's how that particular weapon works. With the charges for the guns, it's not that it does like a more of a damage. I mean, it is more damaging, but it's not like Nero's weapon. What this is that when you charge up the revolver or the handguns, or not what am I talking about? The shotgun or the two guns to level 3. There's no progression where it goes from bam, bam, bam to level 3 like Nero's does. It just is a charge, and you'll get X amount of shots. I think it's 6 shots where you have more of it's a magical attack with his powers, and it's not necessarily like a really furious blast, but it's just an upgraded shot, and you get more of them per charge that you do. So with this particular weapon, this here, you can just jump with one of the upgrades, and it's an offensive move, and it hits things when you're just jumping, just like in the first game. So up ahead, we're going to have some of these mega scarecrows, and since my disaster gauge is filled, I'm going to show you what to do. You just hit these guys, and you press with the Swordmaster skill equipped. What we're doing here is the real impact move, which is right bumper, back, and then Y. I think that's what it is. Right bumper, back, and then Y. See how long look how long it takes to build this move up. But while you're in the charge, you press the devil trigger button during the periods when he's actually flashing to get the increased damage buff, and it destroys things. So anytime you're on a boss and you want to rip them to shreds, that's what you do. It's called Devil Trigger Distortion, and it's really great. You have to have... What do you have to have for that? Oh, let me just discuss this. Look at this. I just thought about this myself. I'm sure everybody knows about it, but see, you just float right across, and you skip having to go up on the elevator and dealing with, I think, a blitz, and I'm definitely sure of frosts. So why did I skip that? Was I a coward? Did I not want to fight those fights? No, I didn't. It's just that I wanted to show you guys the disaster gauge and how you could bypass things and get to different areas with that particular spaceship that he uses. So with the Devil Trigger Distortion slash Real Impact, it's not going to work on an enemy like this because they don't stay still long enough, plus they're more of an ethereal kind of enemy, like a ghostly enemy. But anytime like you're dealing with an enemy that stops and lets you hit him, like the Blitz, when you take the electric force field off of him, It's a great opportunity to use the real impact. But just remember, you can't be doing the distortion move unless you have a double trigger saved up. And it takes off massive damage, and it just kind of puts this, I don't know if it breaks the game, but it definitely puts the fight in your favor a lot more. But like, it's hard to do it on Frost because they move around. Any enemy that doesn't stop for a second, it's hard to do it on, especially the Frost. But also, they have to at least be a certain height too, so that, like, it's a long uppercut that he does. So I just want to show you that. So now we're back in this room, and if you want to drop a holy water here, because the thing about this is until you clear this facility, there's no checkpoint anywhere. So if you happen to die, you're out of luck. And when you respawn, you'll be back past that chasm that I floated over with the spaceship, and you won't have any disaster gauge left. So in that little pit where the elevator is, if you know the area that I was floating over in the spaceship, if you fall down there, there's the elevator switch, and there's also a gold orb. So you want to get the gold orb first, and then restart the chapter and do that. If you want to, you don't have to. I'm just telling you of a nice little cheat. A cheat isn't really a cheat because it's staring you right in the face. I mean, you could practically jump over it with the streak, you know. But this weapon is not very good because it's extremely slow, and look how fast it drains. So it's not even a viable weapon except for, like, I'm going to show you how to get the gold orb in chapter 17 or 16 or 17, and we have to use the spaceship. But this guy has so many fucking weapons and guns that I have a hard time trying to select them all and trying to figure out what I want. He's got so many movesets. He's got 5 movesets if you've cleared the game once, because if you have, you'll get the Dark Slayer. So what trick? I have the only style upgrades that I have completely purchased are the Gunslinger and the Swordmaster, because I don't use the other two. I might get into Royal Blocking, maybe. However, do you have to have the Swordmaster up to level 3 to do the distortion? That's a question somebody might have. You have to. I believe you do, because the more style upgrades you purchase, the more moves you'll unlock. So I think it is level. It might be level 3, but I'm pretty sure it might be a full upgrade. But then again, it could be level 3 that we're looking at for the real impact move that you unlock. So these are all things that the game doesn't even bother to tell you, you know, about the disaster gauge or anything like that. Very old school game. Oh yeah, on this chapter too, there was one combat adjudicator that I was lacking, and it was on this chapter that it is, because on the last fight, once you clear it, you'll be able to take a right and go get the combat adjudicator. It's probably one of the ones that people will miss. So it's just because, like, there's no boss, and the game lets you just go straight to the end. But if you go through the door in this room here, when it unseals after this battle, the door right up there, see where the webbing is over in that door? You can go over there, and a couple of rooms past it, it'll be the combat adjudicator. What I would recommend is actually just coming back into this place after you leave this building, because then the countdown will stop. What am I doing here? Using holy water? Okay, forgot to edit that out. Sorry. See, I don't care if people know that I'm using these items. It just, you know, the fight just stopped right there suddenly. So I just don't like to have that in my guides. But I guess I just kept this all in one reel of footage. Okay. So I'm gonna do the real impact in this guy. Right here, fortunately, magnificent. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.